საღამოშდობის ახალხნამ, დიდი მადლობა, რომ ამ დრომდე დარჩით და მისმენთ. Good evening. Thank you for staying this late, and I try to be as short as possible. So, wow, what a day, right, today. I've listened to all these creative people, and I think I have a full-blown midlife crisis, trying to identify whether I want to move from technologist to creative area. But before I do that, so my name is Nakashidze, and I'm an engineer, and I lead a wholesale operator, telecom operator in Azerbaijan, Azertelecom. And today I want to talk about internet. Oops, sorry. So you see the graphs, right? And you've probably seen these graphs in textbooks or, when you Googled it, and there are DSL, fiber, wireless, whatever, but guess what? We will not be talking about it today. I will not be talking about how important the internet is because, everything that was discussed today is based on internet, so it's not all possible without that. But instead of that, I want to discuss with you and to take a journey to what happens beyond your connectivity to ISP. What happens beyond your helpline and your broadband connectivity. Because beyond your ISP, there is connectivity to the global content. And there is a web that connects us to content 1,000 kilometers away, delivered to and from you. And why it is very important for us in this region? It is important because it's in our DNA. It's important because we've for centuries been on the Silk Road. And Silk Road is the new connectivity between Asia and Europe. And I just want to discuss with you and possibilities and tap into the possibilities that digital Silk Road and Silkway open up in the nearest future. So, like any internet, this fancy graph here describes how it grows. So international connectivity, likewise, your connectivity, broadband connectivity, grows in capacities. And overall, annual growth is 35%. And there is, of course, the range. Developed countries are growing with a lower rate, and developing and emerging markets are growing at a higher rate. But, like every hype in industry, every time I discuss with my friends or, colleagues, but what is internet connectivity beyond your connectivity to ISP? What is it comprised of? And I'm always told that it's some kind of the satellite. Maybe it's because of Elon Musk, because of the Skylink, I don't know, but everybody thinks that it's satellite. But I guess, no, that's not what is happening. Just as an example, you see that satellite is less than 1% of international connectivity of United States. And everything else goes to fiber. Fiber is the key. Fiber is in the submarine, meaning in oceans, fiber on the terrestrial part, on the land, and it is linked to geography. And that's why the title of today's talk is Internet Geography and how it develops in future and what are the opportunities. So just as a benchmark, think about as we speak today, there are over 530 submarine fiber systems in the world. And over the last 5 years, the investment in these systems were $9 billion USD. We are not able to evaluate the investments into terrestrial highways and the backbones, but the scale is huge. But why we are talking about scale? Because such connectivity is interregional. Countries like Georgia, Azerbaijan, or anybody in the region, apart from Russia and big countries, we are too small for such highways. We are not in scale. And for internet connectivity, that would be capable to enable all digital ecosystem that is being discussed today, and not only today, and at this conference. This connectivity has to be scalable, it has to be resilient, and it has to be diversible. So there has to be a diversity. And here in the first graph, you see the scale of the connectivity between the regions. And you see the importance of the connectivity between Asia and Europe. It's, the line you see there is thick enough, so there is about 40 terabits that is going between these two regions. And while we are discussing this, how to deliver internet or the connectivity from Asia to Europe, there are 4 major routes that are deployed now. The route around Africa, which is yellow one on the map, which is hardly used. It's long, and it's scarce, and it's not scalable, so it's not used. The most used route now is the blue one, which is route through Suez Canal that goes through Egypt and connects most of the Asian traffic to European traffic landing in Marseille, France. And there are 2 other routes, one going through Middle East and one going through Russia. And since the blue line that I've shown is the most used one, let's look at it in the details. And these fiber cables have their lifetime. They have lifetime in terms of deployability, 25, 30 years max. But before the trend is such that before the lifetime ends, the capacities are going at such a pace that the lifetime is shortened. And when you look at the capacities of the existing cables, expected lifetime is 5 to 10 years, most of the cables linking Asia and Europe. So that means that it opens up new opportunity. And when I'm talking about routes, I just wanted to show you that it's not one cable. These are multiple cables, multiple systems that connect different countries, but overall, in terms of the regions, Asia, Europe connectivity is the key. And one of the characteristics of this connectivity is the latency, or the time that signal light takes to travel from destination in Asia to destination in Europe. And the length and the latency differs. It could be 136 seconds, it could be 200 milliseconds. And why it's important, I'll give you a brief example. As somebody who is working in Azerbaijan and has not been really involved in Formula One before, Azertelecom is delivering connectivity to Formula One when the races happen. There is a Baku circuit races, and we deliver connectivity. And before that, I love Formula One. I watch it, but before that, I haven't had an understanding of what type of engineering is involved. And one day, I entered Petronas Mercedes garage, and they showed me the connectivities. What is happening is that all the metrics that are collected along the racetrack are sent back to the factories in Germany. And people there and analysts there are analyzing the data and then advising the pilots how to proceed. And in Formula One, milliseconds matter. Switch over of 2 milliseconds is a disaster. So it's a real military boot camp operation to deliver connectivity to Formula One. And then there are all the other cases. There are banking cases, trading cases, financial services. So what I want to tell you that milliseconds matter. In this connectivity, milliseconds are important. And therefore, it brings a new emphasis to the yellow link. So the yellow link is non-existing one, but this is an opportunity that is opening up. As we see that northern routes will become less manageable, probably, there is a lot of investment into Russian routes, and there is a high dependency of the Asian traffic on the Russian routes. But due to geopolitical changes, due to the exit of technology, due to some other factors, there is an expectancy that these routes will become, less and less deployable. And therefore, it opens up a new opportunity for Central Asia and for South Caucasus to lay a new route that would connect Asia to Europe. That would be combined route with terrestrial and submarine, because obviously there are 2 seas in between. There is a Caspian Sea and there is a Black Sea in between. That would be the shortest route. Latency that I've talked will be minimal, and it will be resilient. I hope it will be resilient in all the geopolitics of the region. But what does this digital silkway mean? Why is it important that this traffic is passing through Georgia? It's not just passing through. What is happening is that hyperscalers or the content providers, platform providers, they choose for expansion the locations and the regions where infrastructure is there, where there is scale. And without Asian traffic scale, there is no interest into embarking to South Caucasus and investing into South Caucasus. So that would create additional kind of motivation for the hyperscalers and big players to entering the regional market. Apart that, there is a lack of data center fabric in our region. Just brought some statistics. So the data centers are the places where the servers, edge networks, carrier-grade routers are collocated. And this is one of the most invested and expanded part of the digital ecosystem nowadays. And once we will be embarking on 5G and all other fuzzy things that we were discussing today, the need for data centers will increase. And data centers have their standards. They have standards ranging from 2, 3, 4. The higher the data center tiering standard, the better availability. The highest standard is tier 4. And the statistics here show that there is no tier 4 data center in our region. There is lack of tier 3 data centers in our region. Most of the data centers, 95% of the data centers of the region are located in Russia, Ukraine, and Turkey. And again, I would repeat myself, there is an opportunity window here, because I think it becomes more and more important for us to develop in that direction. And the last slide that would underline the importance of this opportunity and invite you to tap into this opportunity. So, sorry. Okay, so what are new? There are 3 major areas that this opportunity window that will be opening probably for the next 5 to 10 years. There is a short opportunity window in terms of the development of the digital routes and digital ecosystems. This 5 to 10 years period, if this yellow route is developing and if it is happening, and let's advocate for it at every level. Like, all of you are significant players in your areas, and I think your contribution to and commitment to advocacy for this to happen is very important. So what will be happening if this happens? What are the benefits? First of all, it's, as I said at the beginning, it's the diversified, scalable, and resilient connectivity, hyper connectivity delivered to the region. The second is, what does that mean? Why it's important that there is a scale? Because where there is a scale, there comes economy. Where the content needs to be delivered 6,000 kilometers away from Frankfurt to Tbilisi, when you Google something, really, 6,000 kilometers. Imagine, after that, when there will be a scale, there will be lesser cost allocated per megabit to deliver that content to Georgia. And at the next stage, if there is an investment in the data centers, there is even a lesser cost because this content will be collocated in Georgia. So it will be in the region. Then what is also very important is that development of this data center fabric, development of this hyperhighway would contribute to the development of a human capital. And human capital that is a technology native. We don't have tier certified specialists, much of those, and that would create a new opportunity, new areas of engagement to create new digital ecosystem in the region. So this is in brief. I hope you stayed with me, and let's deploy this opportunity window of the digital Silk Way that is coming. Thank you.